did Ms. Willis tell you on more than one occasion that she was engaged in a romantic relationship with Mr. Wade prior to you leaving the district attorney's office?
Did she tell me or did I observe?
I'm saying right now with the tell me.
Yes.
You did not tell me as a woman of color, it would not matter what I did. My motive, my talent, my ability, and my character would be constantly attacked.
Did she tell you that in the year of 2020?
Yes.
You forgot to mention the loneliness of this position, and you certainly didn't tell me about this stress.
In the year of 2021?
Yes.
I'm just being honest. This is me and my Lord talking. God, I don't really want to do that. I ain't feeling it.
Are you certain that Ms. Willis told you about the romantic relationship with Mr. Wade prior to November 1st of 2021?
Yes.
You know, I think that we've had the whole Fani Willis corruption situation completely wrong. And I mean both sides. I think that we've all got it wrong. And I'll explain that to you in a moment. But if you guys didn't torture yourself like I did and watch every bit of her and her boyfriend's testimony, if you didn't do that, then you're definitely smarter than I am for sure. I don't know what it is with me. I don't know why, but I get completely hooked by these televised court cases. Honestly, it's like some of the most interesting people watching possible. It's like so real. Everything's real about it. But regardless of who had it right or who had it wrong, I think the judge's likely decision to disqualify them both will all come down to the fact that Nathan Wade took the stand and talked about how strong and how independent the great Fani Willis is and how she reimbursed him for every penny that he spent in cold, hard cash, which really says more than I think we think it says. Watch this, and then I'll tell you how I think we all got it wrong.
All I needed. You said in the affidavit that you roughly shared travel, though, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this roughly sharing travel, you're saying she reimbursed you.
She did.
And where did you deposit the money she reimbursed you?
I was cash. She didn't give me any checks.
So she paid you cash for her share of all these vacations.
Mr. Schaefer, you'll step out if you do that again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so all of the vacations that she took, she paid you cash for.
Yes, ma'am.
And you purchased all of these vacations on your business credit card, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you included those in deductions on your taxes, correct?
No, ma'am.
No, you did not.
Let me say this. Let's take the Belize trip, for example, since you started there. That was a birthday gift to me, so I paid nothing for that trip. Zero.
Okay. So the charges that are on your card, she gave you cash for?
She did.
Okay. So all of the charges...
Excuse me, Your Honor, I believe the witness has finished answering the question.
Oh, did you have more?
I did.
Okay.
I wanted to get into the charges on the card because traveling with her is a task. You can probably imagine the attention that happens. So for safety reasons, she would limit her transactions. I mean, imagine trying to walk through an airport or sit at a restaurant or do anything. So there's no attempt to conceal. It's a credit card. Everything is here. So.
And that's not what I asked.
Okay.
What I asked was the charges for Belize in March 2023 on that credit card. Those are things you purchased to go with Miss Willis to Belize.
Those are things that we booked with my card that she paid. Yes.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff, man. You got to ask yourself, if she did reimburse the guy, why do it in cash? I would imagine to eliminate a paper trail, right? And if that's it, is that because they understood the entire time that they were doing something wrong? Obviously, I think that probably answers itself. Of course, they knew they were doing something wrong. But the interesting thing is that Fani had told reporters or authors until not long ago she was broke. And I guess that she probably can't prove that she withdrew any money from her bank. Now, obviously, I'm just guessing, but I would guess that if she could prove it, she would. And if that's right, how is it possible that a broke DA had thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on hand in her home to secretly reimburse her secret lover for their secret travels. That just does not pass the smell test if you look at it objectively. But I mean, here's the sad thing about objective things, and what afflicts the modern day liberal. Not one of them will take a look at any of this and actually consider any possibility past the fact that Trump is bad and Fani gets Trump. So that means Fani is good. I mean, that is literally as deep as they will take it. And as far as what will actually happen, I don't know, man. That is a tough one. It's hard to make any assumptions when Trump derangement syndrome is involved. But obviously something will happen, right? Whether that's the expulsion of Wade or the expulsion of both of them or case dismissal or criminal charges, who knows? But it's not just me. Even the analysts at MSNBC of all places are actually they're showing some real concern, man. These people, they're pretty much beside themselves. I mean, this is pretty fun to watch. Listen to the defeat in the voice of poor mourning Joe Scarborough.
I'm wondering, Danny, your thoughts on this. If, in fact, we find out that they were lying under oath about when the relationship began, do you think the judge is going to remove her from the trial?
Oh, I think that's the least that would happen. Now, think about it. The timeline is so critical because if Fani Willis appointed Wade before when they were having a relationship, then the defense really has a strong argument there that this was something that was a plum given to somebody that she was having a personal relationship with. And then furthermore, if they've deceived the court about when that relationship began, I think that's a huge deal to represent to the court. Again, it's the cover-up that makes it worse than the underlying conduct. Because let's take a step back. Dave Ehrenberg will tell you that in every state courthouse, particularly criminal courthouse in America, people are dating. Judges are dating cops. Cops are dating public defenders. Some of it's in the open. A lot of it's secret. That's not what this motion is about. This isn't a motion to dismiss because the prosecutors may have had a personal relationship. It's a motion to dismiss because the theory is that if payments were made, if she appointed this special prosecutor and was essentially getting what you could, I guess, qualify as a kickback in terms of he got paid and then the money got paid back to Fani Willis, then you might have the appearance of impropriety. And those are the magic words here. Judge McAfee has already made reference to those magic words. In the rules of ethics and at disciplinary boards across the country, those are the magic words. It's not whether they did something that was misconduct. It's instead whether it created the appearance of impropriety, because that is the standard by which attorneys are judged. That is the standard that safeguards the legal profession and causes the public to keep its trust in us. So look not for whether or not there was an actual relationship or whether there was actual misconduct. Judge McAfee is going to be looking for whether there's the appearance of impropriety. And if they deceive the court about that relationship, that will bolster the argument that there's the appearance of impropriety. Let me give you an example. There's been, the state has countered so far that, hey, even if there was a relationship, when they went on trips, everybody paid Dutch. They looked at the bill, they pulled out their money, and no matter where they were, traveling abroad, it doesn't matter. They always paid for their own way. That seems like a little bit of a stretch to me. Maybe it'll end up being completely true that every time they're at a Chili's, they look at the receipt, they divvy it up right down the middle, and nobody's paying for it. The state funds are not going from the state to Wade and then back to Fani Willis. Maybe that's the case. But if they've made that assertion and that also ends up not being true, that too will be a problem for Fani Willis and Wade. I think that if there is a strong appearance of impropriety here, there's a very strong likelihood that both Wade and Fani Willis will be disqualified. And it's Willis that really matters. If Wade gets disqualified, someone else can step in. In fact, that's been the subject of a lot of this litigation. In fact, in a very Twilight Zone moment, the defense essentially argued that Wade didn't have sufficient experience. And you have this moment where the defense is essentially arguing, hey, the state should have gotten a better qualified prosecutor to prosecute us. And, of course, this was pointed out in the papers. That's a non-issue. Wade's lack of qualifications or alleged lack of qualifications, as Judge McAfee put it, if you've got a heartbeat and a bar card, you're qualified to be a prosecutor as far as this motion goes. But, again, go back to the appearance of impropriety. It's what Judge McAfee is going to be looking for. It is the standard against which this conduct is judged.
Man, this case, man, I almost feel bad about how much I enjoy it, but I really, truly do enjoy watching a case designed to destroy Donald Trump and make Fani a Democrat star basically fall apart. And really, all because of what they've done. I mean, I love also watching Joe Scarborough have the rug literally pulled out from under him. I mean, what is better than listening to MSNBC talk about the cover-up being worse than the crime, and they're actually talking about Democrats? I mean, that is fantastic stuff. And if they can see it, if even they are sharing that with their audience, then there may actually be something here, man. I think that a lot of people are worried, and I think they have a lot of good reason to do that, but who knows? No one knows what'll happen. But I think the most damning thing I saw is the fact that they renegotiated Wade's contract at a higher rate after their relationship began. That's not good. No matter what side you're on, that just doesn't look good. But, you know, this is where I think it, you know, that's what I think they're going to be, their biggest issue is. And where I think we got it wrong this whole time, we've thought that this was some powerful woman exploiting her power and her position. I don't think that's the case, man. I think that this is a lonely lady who really got totally played, got totally used by a very, very sneaky and very, very selfish fellow attorney. You know, I come away from this actually thinking that Wade is the bad guy. And honestly, if it wasn't for Fani's prosecutorial overreach and her complete weaponization of the system there in Georgia, I would actually feel pretty bad for her. But anyway, that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.